You guys are just looking fantastic today. Okay, perfect. Welcome in, everybody. It's Paint with Josh. I'm going to show you every single step to do. Hi, by the way. Nice to see you. I'm going to show you every single step on this 22-inch by 28-inch canvas. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a good time. I hope you're ready to have a good time. So I'm going to show you everything I've done. I've taken my black canvas, right? Initially it was white, so we put our Liquitex black gesso across all of it. It's an acrylic paint, so it dries very fast. It's very watery and spreads out very easily. Then when it came time to paint this painting, I covered it in our Bob Ross liquid clear. I'll try to show you just a little, so you can see the wet fingertips, right? That's all that Bob Ross liquid clear. Now, after that, I took a paper towel and I wiped everything off, and that's the point where we're at today. So let's grab a little bit of our crimson paint, a little of our bright red, maybe some Prussian blue, some ivory black or midnight black, and some titanium white. Just 5 colors today. Gonna be fantastic. It's an excellent Independence Day today now, isn't it? I hope you guys are all ready to have some fun. So we're gonna take our crimson paint, gonna pull down onto it, just like that. So we get a little bit on there, not too much, because we know we gotta mix it with the red. Have to have a bit of both. There, right? Right in between both. Now, let's take just a little bit of that red and put it just along the top, the smallest little touch, a little indication, almost like a little triangle. So we got a little bit fatter over here to a skinnier point. Then we're gonna leave a big section of open black canvas that just has the clear on it. Okay, so we're gonna come down here and let's just say another little tiny little bit of red. We don't wanna have too much. And we can always go back and add more is my thought. We don't want to have too much on there to begin with. And they're going to go at this downward angle. It's not all just going to be this perfect straight thing like we've done in the past. We're going to have these downward. It's going to mix in with our ocean scene, and everything's going to play just perfectly. They don't have to be too crazily on an angle. You still want to keep them sort of straight, but just not too straight. Again, leave another big old space. We're going to drop it down and drop it down and drop it down. Right there, just a little red line. We don't want to have too much. Then we'll have our white line across the canvas there. So we got this. Come back again. We're going to put in a little teeny tiny, just a little red way back there. That's pretty much it. That's all you got to have, right? We're going to have our big white stripe across the bottom. And a big red stripe right there as well, but not too thick, right? It's just very small. Just a little skinny little guy. And that way it won't go too pink on us. We don't want it to go too pink. Now we're going to have underneath, right? We've got that guy. Let's see, let's actually make it a little bit bigger, just a little, just so we can have a little pinkish in our eye. There we go. So again, fatter on this side to a skinnier point. Same thing, more crimson, more red. We always do these things live, guys. If you're just tuning in for the first time, maybe you've never seen us do a live show before, this is what they're like. Again, very slowly sloping downwards. So we're going to have these turning effects. And it's going to be really cool. Leaving a little bit of space in between. They never have to go and touch. Remember, never, ever, ever. That's cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, almost made the 13, didn't we? Just almost. It's hard to do unless you've got a big enough canvas and you space them out correctly enough. But that's pretty much it, guys. Now, we're going to take our blue paint and we're going to put it up here. Remembering that this is our horizon for our ocean, meaning we have to have a white stripe of cloud inside of there. And our blue patch above that. So let's go wash off our brush. We'll get rid of all that red and crimson paint. And then we'll go back. And I had the funniest question the other day. Someone asked me, like, oh, are you MAGA? And I'm like, no, I mean, I don't talk about my political views anyway, but no, we're just painting a flag scene because it's Independence Day. Or yesterday was the day before Independence Day. So come over here, grab our blue, our Prussian blue paint, so it stays nice and dark. Don't come down past this red stripe, okay? Put in a little blue square back here. It can be as big as we want, as little as we want, but it's sort of got to match to our flag size, right? The only thing you don't want to do is let it grow down too far because it's going to turn your white stripe of a cloud blue if it's too blue in that area. So leave our Prussian blue out there. It's very dark. It looks like black paint, but it's not. It's a very, very dark blue paint. Now we got our stripes. We got a really cool scene, so let's get our brush clean and we'll get ready to go, you guys. Now, first things first, you gotta check in and tell me where you're watching from. Where are you from around this globe? Tell me now. And these angles on this downward slope is going to be very important to our scene, so I hope you're matching those properly. Don't use too much red or crimson paint. You want to have a big space up there so we can get up there and pop our big old white clouds in, right? So we're going to take our titanium white paint, I'm going to pull it down, and because the canvas is just wet in here with no undercolor, it's just a black canvas, right? We should be able to, there, put a whole bunch of our white, and it should stay nice and bright white, just literally mushing it and pushing it onto the canvas, letting it flow up and flow down, of course. We need to get a little bit of it to come down that way. There. Now, we'll take our 1-inch brush, and we'll start to mix it. The reason that we don't want any undercolors underneath there is so those white clouds don't go pink or blue or whatever. You know what I mean? We just want to have them stay nice and bright, and we're mixing them up evenly enough, right, or unevenly enough, to where they are not the same all the way across. You've got light areas, you've got dark areas, you've got these really cool little things out there. Now we'll wipe off our brush and we'll go back to our titanium white again. So we want to clean, actually that's got some blue in it now. Let's get some of that blue out of there. I'm telling you, nice, clean, dry brush is going to be the best, okay? Remember, you can grab this painting if you go over to my site. It's available, right? Let's go like this. Let's come out here. It's going to be sort of flat. Pop it down. You see we're doing it randomly, so we don't have the same bit of color anywhere. Right? Bring it out into your blue, just a little bit right at the end. Right at the end, bring it out there. Now you start away from your blue side, way over here. And again, mix it up to where it's different. Right? So kind of come up, down, back, around, make a little figure 8. Leave some of these spaces brighter, some of them darker. You need that. Leave the color from touching the red, so you have that little bit of dark on the underside of it as well. That's going to help keep the clouds looking like they're popping away from that darker sky back there. Isn't that cool? That is a cool one right there, guys. Let's wash off our brush again. Only because we contacted the blue section of our paint, we don't want our clouds to be blue, so let's come back in here again. Grab a little bit of this guy, well, a lot of white paint. Come over here, stay below the blue first. We can go back and change it up. All right, let's pop up in, right here. Little guy, little guy, little guy. Now we'll pop into this blue area just a little bit. We don't need the whole thing to be blue, but we do need some color up there in order to blend it down. And every time we do it, it's another chance to do it a little differently, don't you think? We can have that same painting over and over and over, or we can change it up and we can try something new. That's the fun in it for me. Right, I paint so often, you guys, up here doing shows for you guys all the time. Ooh, that's neat. Look at that thing over there. All the time with the shows. And of course, they're never all exactly the same. There's got more of my bright white paint on that side just to keep it brighter. I didn't want it to go too pinky. There we go. Right? And all of a sudden, we get all these differences out here between all these clouds, keeping a little bit of separation. And it starts looking sort of, kind of like a flag, right? Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Popping a bit more brightness down there if you want it. Every time you do it, it's up to you. And remember, when you're blending white over just pure black canvas, you need to leave some differences in there. Leave some space, leave some room for it to grow. Say we want it to be a bit brighter up in here. There we go. Change up this thing. Go all the way up into the blue if you wanted to. Honestly, it's so up to you, however you want these things to look. Lots of paint, little pressure. A little pressure is going to keep it from growing too far. Right? Now we'll come down here with our palette tool. You guys check in one more time. Just check in, tell me where you're watching from. We're going to light up the top of our sky as well. Since this brush already has some paint on it, let's just grab a little bit of white. Titanium white, drop it down, right? Just kind of filling up parts of our sky. We need it to stay dark. You don't want it to be too bright. Right? If it's too bright, it looks a little funny. And trust me, because I've done these probably 20 or 30 times. Usually every year we do about 4 of these around each patriotic holiday. So whether that's 4th of July or President's Day or 9/11 we do them on, like we do them all the time, right? I've been doing these flagscapes for longer than you've been painting. I'm guaranteeing it, right? It's been amazing, and every time they turn out a little different. Our main goal, we don't want it to get too bright, right? We don't need it to be too bright. We don't need to have everything be perfect. We're just kind of dragging it in and leaving some darkness in there too. We don't make everything too stinking bright. Okay, let's come over here. We're gonna pull out our titanium white. We might as well get some more now because this whole pile has been tainted blue. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. There we go. Gotta find the right tube. Get the tube. Okay, you guys seriously check in right now because I'm gonna come back there and look at the comments and read out where we got people watching from right now. So check in. Where are you from around the globe? And we're gonna come back and look. I swearsies. Oh my God, dude. What is going on now? All right, we're gonna end the TikTok stream again, you guys. This is so ridiculous. Every time. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna end the TikTok stream. We're gonna refire it back up, my friends, because something happened. Somebody must have said something or typed out something that caused an issue and got us a little violation notice, which is no big deal in my book, but it restricts the live and forces me not to be able to reach the people I need to reach. So we're gonna start over. So if you're not already following me on TikTok, give me a follow right now because we're gonna start the stream. We're gonna end it. We're gonna fire it right back up. So you better be there when we come back. More my white. Oh yeah. Just a little touch. Okay, everybody over there on top, you better follow me now because we're going to end it. We're going to come right back, and it's not going to even bug anybody else, right? There we go. Okay. This thing is so ridiculous, you guys. Honestly, no idea what we're doing. There we go. All right, so we'll come in here. We're gonna mix up that very light amount of paint, only because I wanted a little change, a little difference in my clouds up there, right? Just a little touch of difference in the clouds is all we need. We don't wanna have too much blue rolling through this way. Okay, now let's grab our palette tool. We're gonna grab that titanium white that we had, and we're going to decide where our horizon sits. Obviously, underneath those clouds, but how far underneath? As we take a little scrape of paint. All right, we're gonna come out here, just about a 1/4 inch underneath. We're gonna drop it, and we're gonna keep going down and down and down and down. See how it's a little bit lower on the side than it is in the center of the canvas anyway. And then we're gonna take some of that paint, just a little of it. All right, come up and kind of kiss the front, drag a little bit of it backwards, backwards, backwards. Not everything has to be perfectly bright white. We don't need every place out there to be too white, and the more that you intermix it, the more it's going to mix with the color underneath. So back here we have that red stripe, so the more we mix the white, the more reddish pinkish it's gonna go. Right now, everybody check in, tell me where you're watching from right now, and I'm gonna come back and read all the comments, and we'll see where you guys are from out there in the night. Just let me know. There. A little straight horizon is all we need. You guys think that's a straight horizon? It's straight enough anyway. Okay, where are we from? Where are we from, guys? Oklahoma. Excellent. Boom. Watching from South Carolina, Canada, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Texas. Excellent. Excellent. England, New Jersey, Ghana over here on Facebook. That's wicked cool. Watching from Canada, watching from India over there on YouTube. You guys are awesome. Arizona, Las Vegas, Tennessee, Cottage Grove, Oregon. I'm in Eugene, Oregon. Fort Lauderdale, Washington. TMH is here. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. Jasmine Christine is here from Michigan. Visions by Mark's watching from his car. Okay, here we go. This is what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna make a big old monster of a wave with our palette tool. And if you're like, I just really can't do it, keep practicing. You're gonna get it eventually. You want it to feel like you've got to roll up here and then you're gonna feel it grip off like a fish biting at the bait. It's almost the easiest way to describe it. Now, we need to make a second little triangle that's going to come up and in front of this guy, right? So what I like to do is just kind of contact it, roll it down, roll it down, roll it down, staying in that red area, okay? Same thing with this guy. We're gonna roll this guy back. Just gonna push harder on the blade to drop off more paint and leave a little space in between. Not every place out there, again, has to be as bright as every other place. Now, if you have the right amount of paint on the edge of your blade and you're pushing hard enough with enough of that pressure, right? Paint, pressure. What's the last one, guys? Can you remember? We're gonna come over here again, grab some of the titanium white, pull it out flat like a steamroller, right? Wipe off the blade, cut it right there, bang, cut it again. How many times are you gonna cut it? Depends on how much paint you want on your blade, right? So we'll come out here, we'll go up, and we're gonna see how we're I'm following up like this, but I'm not touching the canvas. And I'm gonna angle the thing and my tool to where I want it to be. And then we're gonna start dropping down and down and down. You see this downward sloping angle right there, okay? We're gonna make a check mark as well. So eventually, you see the handle behind my hand. Whenever you can't see the tool or the face of the tool or how it's contact, look at how the handle is or look at how my hand is. That's all I ever did was study Bob by looking at where his hand was and how he was holding the tool, how lightly, how this or how that. Now we're gonna rotate, we're gonna start flowing off to the side. How big do you want yours to be? All up to us. Now remember, it's gotta look like a little bird. Just out there in the night, the bat symbol, whatever you wanna call it, right? Very light up here, get longer, longer, longer to the center, and then we're less and less and less and less and less. And we're gonna fill in all that area, so don't you worry, right? Now leaving this very light, very small area of dark red or black canvas underneath the clouds, but pushing up into your horizon of your clouds is going to push back the clouds 1,000,000 miles, okay? All you gotta do. There. Now let's throw our eye of the wave in, right? The transparent part, the part where it gets real thin-like. We're gonna take our white paint up into this red, okay? So it's gonna instantly start turning red, so we need a fair amount of white onto it. We're gonna have it be a little bulbous little thing over here and then into a little tail swimming away. You have to go back and mix it with your brush so it becomes softer. Now, the more that you mix it, the more pink it's going to turn. So, do you want it to be that color? Do you want it to maybe have a little bit brighter area right at the top where it's really, see that? Just that slightest little touch of a difference. Come back here very lightly, otherwise it's all gonna be the same. There it is, my friends. Okay, now we've got to come into our liquid white on that same big old monster fan brush. Okay, so we got our liquid white into our titanium white, which is going to make it very runny and very messy. Right? The titanium white, when it comes out of the tube, is very firm and almost dry, right? The liquid white is very watery, like water. So we're going to try to make both of those guys play together and kind of take our very thick paint and make it a thinner paint, right? So remember, this painting is available on my site if you go over to paintwithjosh.com. It's right there. We're gonna start over here, touching on top of the thing very lightly, a couple little taps. So we tap it very small, right? We're getting smaller and smaller and smaller as we go away from the wave this way. Bigger and bigger and bigger, right up into the clouds, into your horizon, and then instantly fill that gap, right? So we drop down. Smacking in little things, leaving spaces in between, right? Remembering that this paint is going to grow 1.5 miles. As soon as we start pushing on it and rotating with our brush, it's going to grow, right? So the more we come over here, the more the paint is going to grow, and the higher up you have to go as well. Up into your clouds, I'm telling you. Now, does that look like crashing water to you? Just tell me yes or no, because we're gonna do a magic trick to it to make it look like crashing water. But I just want to know, to you, does that look like some crashing, splashing spray? No? That's okay. That's okay, right? Some people, I mean, when I very first started, even like 2 years into paint, I used to leave them looking just like this, right? Because to me, it looked kind of like water. But now what we do is we come up here, we very lightly mix it. Again, there's no other color on here to mix with. It's just black canvas, so you have to almost spread it and then stop, right? The more you mix it all together, the more pure white it will be. That's why we don't put on, we leave all these little empty gaps. So all these guys can mix together, go up into the clouds, spread out over here. Right? How big is your crashing, watery spray deal? Because we're gonna come up into it and cut it back, right? So, you do this once, maybe twice. If you go through and you get all your color, the same or whatever, you just don't think it's good enough. I usually do it twice anyway, because now up here are our finished details when we kind of smack against the canvas. Smack. Then we're gonna get down here, we're gonna do much less. All right, much less little taps. Many less. Okay, because then, again, the final touch, come in here. Mix up those guys, but don't even mix them all the way. So there's differences in there. Little things of brightness, little bits of darkness, little places of oddity. Exactly like that. Okay. Now, should we do the watering, crashing, the spray bit? Or should we finish up this wave and show you the rest before we do the spray? You guys tell me. You tell me what you want to see. Do you want to see the water crashing like when we throw the spray of the wave? Somebody tag ocean spray. You know what's funny? I did a video where I took the paint like this and I was spraying it onto the canvas and I tagged Ocean Spray, the company, the juice company, not even knowing or thinking that they would ever even see it or respond. And they responded back and they were like, that's some Ocean Spray right there. That's kind of cool. So somebody tag Ocean Spray on TikTok. It's like at Ocean Spray Inc. or something, and get them in here. Because we're about to do some oceany spray. And the mods better pin Ocean Spray if they show up, I swear. Okay, we're gonna get out here. We don't need too much, that's way too much. Don't need too much of our paint on the edge of the blade or the edge of the brush, because as we come out here and kind of drag through the blade and throw it at the canvas, it starts spritzing out all these things. So if you have too much paint in the brush or on the blade, then you're gonna have way too many splatters to deal with. Or you're gonna have this or that, or it's gonna get too gunky, or it's gonna throw out too many, which happens, or they'll be too big. Right? Happens all the time. Throw it out there, splash it up into the sky, it projects distance. All we're doing is dragging the bristles through the thing, launching paint at the canvas, literally. There's no way to mess this up, guys. You can't, unless you're getting too close. Back up a little bit, spray it, throw these things. Oh, it's so cool. Did you think we just sat there and painted every single spray? No, never. I'm always looking for the easiest way to do stuff, you guys, because I got to do my paintings in an hour and keep you guys interested for an hour. Right? We can't paint every single spray like that, not in an hour. Get that little bristle out of there. Okay, so we mix up a little bit of our liquid white and our titanium white mix. Then we're going to start up higher up here and cut into our misty action as we go down. All right, so you pick your angle. We know it has to be this downward, slight downward angle. So we're gonna grab our titanium white, liquid white mix, cut up into the wave, right? Push hard, you have to push hard in order to drop that ridge of paint off the front. If you're not dropping any ridge, your paint is either not thin enough, it's not watery or wet enough, right? Or you're not pushing hard enough for your pressure. Both things are the first two P's of Paint with Josh. The amount of paint that we have and our pressure. Right? The more pressure that we give it, the more it's going to spread out. Get lower and lower and lower and lower. Keep going down at that diagonal angle. Right? It doesn't need to be the most perfectest of shapes. Right? Say you came out here, or you popped out over there. You came out, or you popped out over there, or whatever. Right? It doesn't have to be a perfect straight line. That's not what we're talking about. So we're probably going to end up extending this guy down anyway, right? So don't worry about what it looks like just yet. Now our main goal is we're going to have to take off on an airplane, not just instantly straight up on an angle, right? We have to roll it back like an airplane rolls back on the runway, and then you start to take off, right? Now remember, there's no red paint back in here. It's all black canvas, right? So if you have too much, or you're not at your right angle, you're gonna have a big old spot of white, right? So be careful, but we're doing them like this with this part being empty because we need to get some more liquid white, because I want all those deep dark shadows in there. And I want the black section. We don't want to cover up all the black area. So we roll back before we go up, and then as we come out here, we get a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less. Vertical, right? We're going more and more and more horizontally at this point. So here, you can have these whole giant things come out this side. You can fill it in. It can be as bright as you want over on the edge, because this is our closest point, right? All we're doing is just scraping the paint back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, these angles. And then as we come in here, it gets taller, and it's crazier, and more intense. Oh, that's fantastic. Literally fantastic. Remember, you gotta roll back before you roll up. You cannot just instantly go right up on the canvas. You just scrub these things in until you like them, right? There will be holes and gaps. They don't all have to be filled in. That's not what it's about. Painting the water is so freeing because Nothing has to be perfect, right? That's why I choose to paint it anyway. Very cool. Very cool. Scrape some of these little guys. Scrape them back. Do whatever you gotta do. And then start rotating in as you're getting into the eye of the wave. Now, let's take our little liner brush. You can do the same thing with your fan brush if you struggle with the palette tool. You can do the same thing with your fan brush. Let's take our liner brush with our odorless mineral spirits, which is our brush cleaner, and we're gonna put it into our red, just supreme red color, right? Just bright red with our odorless mineral spirits on it, and then we wanna make these crazy old little guys just be odd, right? They're not supposed to be the most perfectest of things. They're supposed to be a chunk of all this stuff rolling up and rolling underneath the eye of the wave. So they never have to look anything except for following along that rounded motion, okay? The rounded motion, you can take them and very lightly drag over them just to get rid of some of the details. Same thing down here, very lightly, very lightly. It's very wet paint. We don't want to push too hard because that'll drag it everywhere and move it too far, right? Very cool, guys. Now, we're gonna throw down our sandy little bit underneath, which is gonna be really neat. See that white stripe through there too? Then we'll have our red beach, a little bit of white stripe. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, let's extend this guy out just a little because I wanna bring him all the way down there. That'll help flatten out our line just a little bit. A lot of times it's seriously about making one little change about where your line is sitting, and then you got it, guys, that's it. Okay, let's grab our liquid white. That liquid white is what? Is it very thick white paint, or is it very runny, very drippy white paint? You guys decide, right? Now we're gonna mix a little bit of our titanium white, about 10% of your pile should be titanium white, 90% of the pile should be that liquid white. And it goes very runny, but now it's hard for it to drip off, right? It's kind of binded together. So we're gonna take a little of that paint, we're gonna come under here, and as long as you leave a separation in between the two white bits of paint, then there's no way to mess this up, okay? All you're doing is mushing it on, full pressure, pulling it down. It's very wet, it's very white, it's very bright paint, and it will stretch for a long way. You can scrape it up over here and use it in other places. All up to us, what we have it look like, but as long as you have a little space, a little gap in between, you're gonna be sitting pretty, my friends. Just sitting pretty. There we go. Again, that very small darkness in between there is gonna help our wave stand out. Well, stand up anyway. You can see the more we go down here, the longer they get, the closer they get to the bottom. It's gonna help us, I'm telling you. Now let's grab our 2-inch brush. We'll come over here, and you guys check in one more time. Tell me where you're watching from. And let's just see, my friends. Oh, that's cool. That is a cool one already, dudes. Okay, check in, tell me where you're watching from. We got Florida, baby. Let's see, Florida, Utah, Louisiana, Georgia, Mars, Ontario, New York, Boston, Vermont, New York again, North Carolina, South Africa, Houston, Mississippi, Daytona Beach. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Thanks, Cosmic, for being over there on YouTube. I'm just seeing all the YouTube people. You guys are kind of behind another tripod, so it's hard to see. It's hard to see. Watching from Wisconsin, San Antonio. Okay, let's take this brush, come right up here, and let's start pulling it down. Now remember, underneath the area where there is no paint, no undercolor, just that plain dark paint, it's going to be brighter white than in the areas where it's under that red undercolor. Therefore, we'll have some changes in our beach, which is perfectly fine. And if we can, we'll be able to maintain those stripes. That's close, it's close enough anyway for me. Just like that. Now, doesn't that look like sand to you guys? Does that look like sand? Just tell me yes or no. Yes or no, man? Does that look like sand? Here we go, very light, very soft little thing in there. Not yet? Yeah, we say no. Some people say yes, some people say no. What if we did this and we turned all these vertical streaks into horizontally streaks? All right, just by pulling it away with a fair amount of pressure, blending it in. Doesn't that look more like that wet, sandy, beachy area now? Just to you, just to you. All right, your answer can be no, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna come over here and take our liquid white with that titanium white, liquid white mix, right? So it's very, very, very runny, very wet. We're gonna come out here and let's just start dropping on, pushing real hard, and you have to go back and get more, and you gotta go back and get more because it doesn't wanna go for very long, right? It stays very wet like that and leaves our little ridge, just like that, kind of like that wet, sandy, beachy area, you guys. I'm gonna put a little bit of it up there. Then we're gonna grab it with our fan brush. Just one little fan brush swipe or two. There we go. Just a swipe or two, pulling it out, pulling it down, going to the side, the side, the side. Doesn't all have to be the same. Look at that. Doesn't that look like wet sandy beach? That is fantastic. Remember, you can grab these black palettes and clear palettes on paintwithjosh.com. I know I have a couple orders that are waiting for a palette to be printed and then brought to me here at the studio so I can get it into a box and get it out to them. But you guys can order yours. Go to paintwithjosh.com. Just search for palettes or scroll down on my website. They're right there at the bottom. Look at that. Look at that for some waves, guys. Okay. Now, let's add in just a bit more of our spray off of our tool. Right? 'Cause I love a good bit of spray on these guys. You gotta have a good old bit of sprays. There we go. Launch it out, up into the sky, out onto the beach, into the sandy area down here. Right, don't wanna do too much. Into the watery, reflective area, just to have a few little bits of something. And then, of course, up into our sky, launching in about 1 billion stars. Gotta love it. Now, what if we did this? One or two little boop, 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 just like that. Put that guy in, and then we'll take our palette tool and just make them sparkle, just a little twinkle in the night. There. A little twinkler here and there. Bink! Just like that. I love that. That's cool. Okay, let's put the birds in, guys. We're going to sign this one. Since we're doing red, white, and blue, let's sign them with the blue birds. And we'll put them right in the middle of a white cloud, and that way they'll stand out right here and just go caw, just flying through the night. Oh, I like it. They're gonna be hard for people to see too. You're gonna be looking for those birds, going, where did Josh put the birds though this time? Before you will see. Now you guys have to start coming up with a title for this painting as well. If you grab it during the live show, you get to pick the title of what we're gonna call it, whether it be Sand of the Brave or Home of the Wave or whatever, you know what I mean? You guys get to pick, especially if you grab the painting and you are in control of what the title gets to be. There we go. Softening down my eye details right there. Yes! Okay, very cool. Now come up with a title for me, guys. What are we gonna call it? And like I said, if you purchase it, you get to choose that title. And you get a free gift off the Spinny Witty Wheel, because this painting is a large one. There we go. Perfect. Boom. Excellent. Awesome. What are you guys going to do for the rest of your evening, I wonder? For your July 4th Eve? That's my question. Boom, guys. There we go. Okay. What do we got for titles, my friends? What do we got for titles? Sand of the Free, I like that one. Independence by the Sea. Freedom in the Night. Thanks, Jennifer Jones over there on Facebook. You're awesome. Appreciate you. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Man, that's cool, isn't it? That is a cool one. Shining Sea. How much for this one? I think it's $259. I believe that's the cost on this one. It's a 22-inch by 28-inch canvas, so it's almost the biggest that we paint on during the live shows. Anything bigger, people tend not to want to spend that money on. So we try not to go too crazily big. when we're doing the live streams. But if you head over to my website, which is Paint with Josh, that's me, right? paintwithjosh.com. Head over there, and it's going to be the very first thing that you see on the website. So if you're looking, and you're like, I don't see a photo or anything, and I do also have a smaller version that I painted earlier today. It should still be available, and it's right underneath this big version, which doesn't have a thumbnail, right? So one of them we're painting live and doesn't have a thumbnail, and the smaller one we painted earlier today, which looks similar but not the same, and it's much less on the cost. So if you're looking to get one, then they're both right there on the homepage, and whichever one you grab is going to help me out for sure. If you get this one, you'll get to pick the title. If you do it before we pick a title as a group. So you got to get over there, do it fast while I finish cleaning up, pulling all the tape and paper towels off of my table. I'll give you guys a second to come up with a cool title. Now, whether it sells or not, whether it finds a new home or it stays with me, we still have to come up with a title, right? So let me know what you think as far as titles out there. I come out here too and just deposit just a couple little oddities. A little random area of color here, there, a little patch of foam, a little something out there that makes it to where it's not just plain and glossy. There, just a weird little thing. Sometimes these little bits of bubbles that go anywhere, dude. They literally will go anywhere. So, wherever you want a little bit of bubble or a bit of streaky poo or whatever, it's all up to us. We get to choose. Oh yeah, that's cool, man. That is cool. There, connect that whole little spot. Right? If you ever make a bright spot or something that's too big, make it bigger. It'll make sense. It'll make sense. The more bigger we make it, the more it'll make sense to our brains. Excellent, I love it. Don't do too much though, because then it's gonna look too detailed. So, you guys have been amazing. I love yous. Let's pick a title. And like I said, this one is available over there on the very front of the homepage. But you gotta be the first person over there to get it. Wave of the Brave. Freedom Beach, I like that. I like Freedom Beach. Boom, boom. Waves out from the shining sea. Crimson Tide. I appreciate it. Thanks, Linda. I appreciate you. Total Freedom. Wave of the Brave. Home front. That's cool. Amazing. Appreciate you. Waves of Freedom. That's a cool one, too. Literally. I kind of like Waves of Free. Ooh, Sea to Shining Sea. I like that, too. You guys are too good at coming up with titles. That's why I always hope for the painting to go find a new home, and then I don't have to come up with the title. It's you guys that have to come up with the title, or at least the purchaser that has to come up with the title. Then I don't have to choose, right? So those are always my favorite, but it's a holiday. I wasn't expecting anybody to grab this, and in fact, I'm sort of relieved because I kind of want to keep it for my own self. Always got to finger paint at least a little bit. Little touch of finger paints on there, otherwise it's not a Paint with Josh painting, right? Okay, let's pick a title. Nobody wanted this one, that's okay. Semper Fi, I like that too. That's a cool title. I like that the clouds are not perfectly straight, you know what I mean? We changed that on this one. Freedom Tide, Waves of Freedom. Boom, boom, boom. Patriot Pipeline, I like that. Glory on the Beach. For Frodo. Red, white, and boom. I like that. Oh, say can you see, but with like spelled like the ocean. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? See our independence. Patriotic Waves. That's cool. Where was this person at? Right there. Let's pin that one. Let's call it Oh, say can you see, but spelled like the ocean, kind of a sea. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so I've got that smaller one available over on my site as well. If you go to paintwithjosh.com, you just scroll down, just like one little swipe down, you'll see that one. This one came out fantastic, and it's humongous. It's a big old painting, so very cool. I'll have a nice big one to put in the window of the store until it finds a new home, and we'll you'll have to see. Let's see, over there, just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Number 1923, calling it Oh Say Can You See, but spelled like water, like ocean sea. Painted on 7/4/2024. We're all gonna go to paintwithjosh.com because it's the best. You gotta go over there and check it out. Man, that one came out cool, guys. I really love it. I hope you guys send in your versions of this painting to me over on Facebook or on Instagrams, where you can easily send a photo, and that is official Paint with Josh on Facebook or Paint with Josh K over there on Instagram. And everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube, you guys have been amazing. This was a quick one today for sure. Nice quick little cream, you guys. Man, it came out cool. Golly, I just love it. Just love it, guys. Love it, love it, love it. So, this one's available over there. You can find it. Still available, Cosmic says, over on paintwithjosh.com. So head over there and check it out. All you guys watching over on YouTube and on Facebook, we're going to hang out on TikTok for maybe 2, 3, 5, 15, 27 minutes until we get done talking. So if you're not watching on there, come over and hang out with us on TikTok. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And blah, blah. Boosh! Man, that's a good one. I like that.